Mrs. Wasike, and this is a program aired from King's Impact World Center, Likoni. I'm here to present a series of program, and I'll be focusing mainly on expectations, a period of expectation. What happens in a period of expectation? What are the challenges that come in such a period? So we will be sharing more and more things about this period of expectation. And I know that by the time we get to the end of this series, you will have gained a lot from this discussion. So as we begin our program today, our focus is on the book of Exodus 1. And as we look at the book of Exodus 1, we are looking at the children of Israel. I'll just read Exodus 1 from verse 6. Joseph and all his brothers, all that generation died. But the Israelites were exceedingly fruitful. They multiplied greatly, increased in number, and became so numerous that the land was filled with them. Then a new king came to power in Egypt. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have come far too numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, and they will become even more numerous. And if war breaks out, we'll join our enemies, fight against us, and leave our country. Verse 22, which says, and Pharaoh gave these orders to all his people. Every Hebrew boy that is born, you must throw into the Nile, but let every girl live. Going back to the period of history when this was taking place, when the children of Israel were increasing in number, this is a season whereby Joseph had settled in Egypt, and after he had settled, his brothers and his father came looking for food, and later on, they found favor because of their son, who had prospered in a new land. And through his favor, they are given a place to live in Goshen, a very fertile land. And later on, they settle, and that's when now we see them increasing in number. So during this period of increasing in number, this is what I'm calling the season or the period of expectation. Mostly in our lives, we have that season whereby we are in a dry season. We have a lot of shortage in whatever we need. And then there comes a season when we now experience abundance. So when we have provisions in abundance, that is when we expect God to do more. That is when we expect better things to come. So this is the same thing that the children of Israel was facing. They were expecting better things to come. They were expecting a better season for them. And something happens. Whoever knew Joseph dies, and a new king comes into power. So one of the things that is characterized with a season of expectancy is that the devil will always do something to make whatever you had programmed to come to get into some form of confusion, whereby you knew this is how things are going to move, and then maybe someone dies, or maybe someone so important who is reliable in that process disappears. So at the end of it all, you are in a situation whereby you don't know whether things are going to work the way you expected, or things are going to change and maybe become worse. So the children of Israel are now not the descendants of Joseph that were respected and were welcome with a lot of respect in the land of Egypt. And the major reason is the king who had shown favor to Joseph had died. And now there was this new king in power, and this was now a king who had a different heart. According to him, when he saw the children of Israel increasing, to them it was a threat. And therefore these people have to be killed. These people have to be messed up with so that they cannot compete them. Now the natives of Egypt became scared that we have strangers in our land and they are now increasing in number. So what are we going to do so that we can get rid of them? And now that is when we see the king coming in with a new rule that any firstborn son has to be killed. So there is that period also when we talk about expectancy. That is the period when a woman has conceived and she's expecting to give birth to a child. That is a season of jubilation. That is a season of celebration. A season when a new child is welcome in the community. Now you can imagine someone who has been pregnant for 9 months. And then later on, there comes a season when the king comes in with a new rule that they have to be killed. And what do you expect that woman will feel? There's that season of fear. People are afraid. The women now had their hopes gone. So at one point, when we are in this season of expectation, there is a time when things turn worse to the point of hope is gone. A woman who expected to give birth after 9 months now faces a threat of, if the baby is a boy, he has to be killed because it is an order from the king. So it becomes such a threatening season. It's such a moment whereby now these women are wondering, what are we going to do? So they have nothing to do. But remember, these are people who are led by God. These are people who are chosen by God. And that is why I always say that no matter what happens during this season of expectancy, the obstacles that come with the period of expectancy, the challenges that come with the period of expectancy, as long as you are chosen by God, as long as you are in God's mission, it means that no matter the obstacle, no matter the problem that you go through, God will always be in control. Now, looking at the children of Israel, God is still in control. There is that new rule that is given out, and the midwives are even told when the women of the Israelites come to give birth, make sure that if it is a baby boy, they are killed. But now, the midwives were God-fearing, and they felt like we cannot engage in this demonic act. We cannot get into this evil act. And maybe someone will ask, why is it that they had to go against the king? It is because God was part of this mission. So I come with a message of hope. During the season of expectation, the devil will arise. During the season when you've started experiencing things in abundance, the devil will come to try and sabotage whatever process God is trying to put into place. But the same God who has initiated this program will not let it be put to shambles. The same God who has initiated this program will not let things be put into confusion. And that is why when the midwives are told, ensure that you kill the firstborn sons, they say, we cannot do this because it is ungodly. It is something that we cannot get into. It's evil. It's demonic. Now, at the end of it all, they allow the children of the women, the Hebrew women, to give birth. And now, when the king asks them, I have given you orders that you should kill the firstborn sons. Why is it that you are allowing them to live? And they say that these women are so swift. When they come in our hands, they give birth even before we attend to them. So that is a very genuine reason that they give, and now they have to be listened to. So they are given another chance, but the same thing happens. So God works through the midwives. The same way, when the devil chooses someone to use against you during your season of abundance, the same God who has started this process, the same God who has initiated this season in your life will work in a way that whoever is being used will now not liaise with your enemy, but will have to go by what the Lord demands. And that is why I look at God and say that he is unchangeable. Yeah? When things become so tough for human beings, if maybe it is just a normal king who has promised you something, when challenges come, they'll abandon you. Even your own friends, they'll tell you will stand and will stick by you. But when times of challenges come, they'll back out. Your own brothers and sisters, they'll tell you we'll stand with you. But when times of challenges come, they'll back out. But we have a God who is very faithful, the unchangeable God. And this unchangeable God will work with us. And whatever he promises, he ensures that it is put into completion. No matter how many demons will arise to work against what he has initiated, no matter how many enemies will try to come and sabotage the progress, no matter how powerful the people that are working against you will come, even if it is the president of your country, he cannot succeed. The reason is there is a God who is above every other force. There is a God who has initiated this program, and whatever he says is yes and amen. No one can change. No one can alter. No one can put in a mess whatever God has programmed. No one can cause impossibilities in whatever God has put his signature as possible. And that is why we always have to trust in God. Whenever we are expecting something good to happen, then we start seeing challenges coming our way. That's not the season to back out. That's the season where now you have to go to your knees and pray and tell God, I know this program or this season or whatever blessing you're bringing my way, it is coming from you. And I know that you never change. And I know that no one can stand against what you have initiated. And therefore, I believe in you that you are going to make this process go through. You are going to make everything happen. So, my viewer, this day, it is a day of encouragement. And it is a day of encouragement because I am here to tell you, not because I am the one who has sent myself, but it is God who has sent me this day to come and tell you and give you this message of hope that whatever he has initiated in your life, no man can change. Whatever he has initiated, whatever program he has started in your life, no matter what looks like an obstacle that can come to block you, just know that there is a God who is faithful. There is a God who will never let you down. There is a God who is powerful, and there is no power that can be above our God. And that is why I give you this encouragement this day, that it doesn't matter how great your enemy is, there is a God who can fight for you. You can be few in number with whatever expectation you have, but even if you have millions of enemies, there is a God who knows how he will bring the enemies down. And that is why, as a child of God, you should not live in fear. The Bible tells us that we are royal priesthoods. We are the chosen ones. And as long as you have God by your side, as long as whatever you are doing, it is for the good of the Lord, just know that he will fight for you. Just know that he will stand by your side. Just know that he is there. And whatever happens, it is part of the program. Sometimes these challenges come, not because God wants to scare us, or not because the enemies are so powerful. These challenges come also to prove to us that he never changes. These challenges are allowed to come into our lives in this season when we're expecting much, so that God can try to show us that when you focus on what I have promised you, look at me and don't look at human beings. Don't look at the obstacle. Don't concentrate on whatever is acting as a hindrance. Focus on who has called you and who has initiated this program into your life. And when we do that, we will always walk in victory. When we do this, we will always walk in encouragement, and nothing will ever bog us down. Nothing will ever scare us, and nothing will ever intimidate us. Praise be to the Lord. And I thank you because of this season, of this first series. And next time, we will look deeper into other things that we can learn during this season of expectation. Be blessed.